The first concept that I chose to talk about is body language, which can be found on page 137. Body language is defined as the intentional or unintentional movement of various body parts that send nonverbal messages. I chose to talk about this because it is an interesting type of nonverbal communication, which includes eye contact, facial expression, gesture, posture, and touch. Body language is important to interpersonal communication because it's helped form a social language that is richer and more fundamental than our words. An example of how this can be used in interpersonal communication is when having a conversation. Someone with their arms crossed over their chest can also demonstrate that the individual disagrees with the opinions or actions of the other individual they are communicating with. The second concept that I chose to talk about is personal space, which can be found on page 140. Personal space is defined as the area that surrounds a person, moves with that person, and changes with the situation, as well as movement to movement. I chose to talk about this because you should always be aware of a person's personal space to avoid making them feel uncomfortable. Personal space is important to interpersonal communication because understanding the appropriate physical distance has an influence on the interaction among individuals. An example of how this can be used in interpersonal communication is when having a conversation with a stranger. Putting your hands on their shoulder would be violating their personal space. But if it was a close friend, the gesture would be taken more lightly.